Hey y'all, welcome to our channel. My name is Tracy. I'm the keeper of the home here at 4D Farms. If you are just now tuning into our channel, welcome. If you are a subscriber or you have seen our channel before, thank you for coming back. Today, y'all, we are going to be pickling zucchini. This is another way to use up the surplus that is coming in from your zucchini from the garden. Yes, and this is also a substitute for cucumbers. If you're not growing any cucumbers and you want to make some pickles, you can substitute and use zucchini and get rid of a lot of that zucchini you got on hand. So let's go to the kitchen and get started. All right, y'all, let's get started with these pickles, okay? I have got my zucchini washed. I've set it out on a towel. I'm gonna let it, just kind of dry. I've got my jars in the dishwasher just for a 1 hour little wash. They're almost done because I need them hot and I want them sanitized and sterilized, so the heat cycle is gonna do all that for me. And let's see, I'm fixing to prepare my brine. Okay, I wanna make about 3 disclaimers here. I forgot what the first one was. That's how my mind is working this morning, y'all. If I remember it, I'll get to it, but I want to make 2 disclaimers first. Okay, first disclaimer. I can say I am making these pickles to get more vegetables in us and kids, my grandkids. Now, that leads me to my point. I can sit here all day long and I can make up my own recipe. I can put all the spices in it, the peppercorns, the garlic, all such as that. I can get my ratios just right. I can look up tons of recipes on the internet. However, key point being, my grandkids love dill pickles, store-bought dill pickles, Vlasic, okay? Or any store-bought dill pickle. Their recipe is just right on spot, okay? If I get in here and I start tweaking and making up my own recipes, y'all know what's going to happen? I don't like that. So, the closest recipe and brine that I use that is the closest to store-bought dill pickles, good old faithful Miss Wages. Thank you, Miss Wages. Yes, I use her pickling, whether it's bread and butter, whether it's dill or kosher. I also like to use her salsa mixes. Y'all, it's just the perfect ratios, the perfect taste to me. When you're dealing with kids, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, okay? I don't want to get in here and start making up my own recipe and then wind up having all these pickles sitting in my pantry and nobody eating them because they don't like them. Okay, so they've just now discovered pickled okra. So guess what? When our okra comes in, G-Ma's got them covered, okay? Her spices are the closest ratio, the most perfect taste that you can get to the store-bought pickles, y'all. I don't know why she doesn't just go ahead and make and manufacture dill pickles and sell them already. But y'all, you can do this yourself. Okay, so that is my first disclaimer. I need this. My second disclaimer. This is an exception to the rule on the processing time on this package is when I'm doing pickles. Reason being, I'm not using pickle crisp. I've never used it before, calcium chloride, whatever. I've never used it before. So, processing time on here is the only time I make an exception to processing time, following directions to the T, is when I'm making pickles. Okay? Because I don't want soggy pickles. I have watched some more women can pickles, and a lot of them use the pickle crisp. And they'll follow the processing time to the T. I've seen ladies do pickles that don't have the pickle crisp. There's an exception and still a safe way. I just cut my processing time in half. Okay? The jars still seal. Yes, they do. Okay? I have personally reached out to these women on their YouTube channels and say, If you cut down the processing time, did your jars seal and did they stay sealed? Yes, they have. Okay, so I usually follow directions, y'all, when pressure canning or water bathing, but this I make an exception. The longer that you process or boil your pickles, the softer they're gonna get and you're gonna come out with mushy pickles. I did that one year. I just canned pickles because we had cucumbers coming out of our ears. They all turned out soggy. They did. They all turned out mushy. Mushy is what I'm looking for. Okay? But I still got creative and I found ways to use them. Y'all, I just turned them into relish. I opened up a jar of the mushy pickles, dumped it in my food processor, and just made relish out of it. Egg salad sandwiches, anything that you use relish in. So I didn't waste them, but I was like, okay, we got to come up with a better way. You can either use Pickle Crisp if you want some. It's calcium chloride, okay? Or the Pickle Crisp brand in your canning section of the store, okay? Or just cut down your processing time in half. So that's what I'm going to do. The jars still seal, and I'm not going to wind up with mushy pickles. Okay, so that was my 2 disclaimers. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, especially if you're dealing with kids. This is the closest to store-bought flavor as I have found. Thank you, Miss Wages. Okay, she gets all the credit. Not me today. She gets all the credit. There may come a time when I may make some refrigerator pickles. These are going to be water bath, so they are going to have longer shelf life. You can do this, and you don't have to have a water bath. You can turn a small batch into refrigerator pickles, okay? And the longer that you let them sit, the better the flavor. But I'm water bathing mine today for longer shelf life, okay? Because there's no way we'll eat all these pickles up, just sitting in the refrigerator. But if you've got a small batch. Now, I have saved up some till I got a good sized batch. So I'm fixing to get my jars out. I'm fixing to get my station all set up. Go ahead and get your zucchini washed, rinsed, let it dry, and then I'm going to start cutting up this is some I had saved. I'm going to start cutting them up into spears, okay? So there you go. This batch is going to be spears only. So get your stations ready, because I got to get mine ready, okay? I'm fixing to get my jars, fixing to finish cutting up my zucchini, and I am going to add a little extra fresh dill, y'all, in my brine because I'm growing dill over there in my arrow garden. Now, I've got my water. Let me get y'all down here. I'll tell you what's on the package, okay? I got to get my towel up out of the floor. I've already got my water in here ready. And you need, let me see this package, 7 1/3 cup water, 3 1/3 cup distilled vinegar. Y'all, it says Miss Wages, but you can use any distilled vinegar, okay? So I've got my vinegar, I've got my water, and I've got my seasoning packet. I'm fixing to get the rest of these cut up, join them with these, and I'm going to get my jars out. I am going to go ahead and get my brine mixed up and get it over into my stock pot. Here's another thing. If you do not have like one of those enamel heavy water bath canners, y'all, this is an aluminum stock pot. You can water bath in an aluminum stock pot, okay? So I'm going to get 1 canner ready to mix my brine in. I got another one down here that I'm going to use to do the canning in, okay? When I get it done with the brine, I can just wash that one and I can have 2 stock pots running. Okay, now another thing is, if I have brine left over, y'all, you can refrigerate brine, save it up, and use in your next batch. Okay, just heat it back up. There you go. So, y'all go do y'all's thing. I'm going to do my thing, and we're going to come back here, and we're going to do this together. Woo! That's dilly. That's good, y'all. That's dilly. That's dilly. That smells so good. Y'all, when you're cooking, Have you ever like emptied out the package and thrown it in the trash can? And then you're sitting here trying to look in the trash can about 15 times. What was the next step? Okay, y'all, I am so bad wanting to add like some peppercorns and some cloves of garlic. But y'all, I gotta remember, these are not just for us. I want my grandkids to eat these too. So it's all I can do to keep from just adding some more stuff. Stick to the package, stick to the package, stick to the package, okay? I'm gonna stick to this, okay? I need to keep my granddaughters in mind. Don't tweak it when you're messing with kids, okay? I'll be right back. Y'all, I meant to tell y'all, she has 2 different packages that I have so far. One is the kosher deal, okay? Quick processing package. This one is dill pickles. So both are really good, but if you're going to buy these, my husband just got me some off Amazon, y'all, and got me a case of it. Because he knows I'm going to use the crap out of these. Okay, and he knows I love Miss Wages. So be careful when you're ordering. You can either do the dill or you can do the kosher. I think one just has a little more garlicky and peppercorn in it than the other one. That's all. Kosher, hence probably the garlic. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that in there because I just looked over here and I was like, hey, I got another package. Okay, so I just grabbed one. I'm doing the kosher dill one today. Okay, the next time I'll use this package. I just thought I'd throw that in there so y'all, when you'll know it when you order it. Y'all, I'm just going to show y'all right quick how I'm quartering these, okay? Now, I've got like different sizes. I've got this size. Y'all, I got this itty bitty size. I got this size. That's kind of like that one. I got this size. That's kind of like that one. I got this size. Okay, I've got different sizes. So it just all depends on how big it is as to how many times I need to quarter it. These 2 right here, y'all, I picked these because the bloom had already fell off the bottom. So I'm going to leave these whole in the jar, okay? So they'll get a whole one in there. I'm not going to waste them. So I'm just going to quarter these. This one's kind of bigger, so this one's probably going to get quartered 4 times. That way, this way. I didn't cut the ends off, y'all. Don't forget to cut your ends off. I forgot that. Got a little excited. Okay, now let's, cut the tip off. Y'all, I'm telling you, save your tips, okay? Because you can use those to make vegetable broth. Now, what I'm probably going to have to do is, I may have to cut these in half because they are a little long. We'll see when I get to packing the jars. See how much longer that one is than this one? Okay, we'll see when I get to packing the jars because I'm using wide mouth jars. When I do pickles, I do use wide mouth jars so you can get in there and get your pickle out better. Okay, I don't use regular mouth because also when these are getting stacked up to the top, you don't want a regular mouth jars or it's going to wind up crunching up your pickles up at the top of the neck of the jar, okay? So wide mouth jars so they stand up like good little soldiers. Okay, I'm going to finish cutting up all of my zucchini. Now, also, if you want to do rounds, by all means do rounds, okay? If you want to do holes, okay? Do whole pickles. Just don't let them get so big, okay? But if you want to go through and you want to slice these into rounds, just go ahead and do you like some hamburger dill slices. I'm just choosing to do spears this time. One more little tip, y'all. If you do want to use this recipe and you want to use cucumbers, make sure that you are using pickling cucumbers. Whether you buy them or you grow them, you want pickling cucumbers, not just the regular cucumbers, okay? So I'm going to get all these together. I'm fixing to get my jars out and clean up my little station here a little bit. Another little short tip, y'all. Anytime you're pickling something and you're heating vinegar and the dilly spices together, especially the vinegar, be careful standing over it and breathing. Yeah, Just be careful, okay, because it is strong, okay? I just wanted to throw that in there. Y'all, I'm going to take all these ends off that I took off of my zucchini, and I've already got a ready saved bag in the freezer. I'm just going to keep piling vegetable scraps in here until I got enough. This is like 1.5 gallons of end scraps just from squash and zucchini, y'all. Save your carrot end scraps, your onion scraps, any vegetables that you cut and snip the ends off of, or peelings and stuff like that. Save them up in Ziploc bags until you get enough, and then turn around and make you some vegetable stock. I got a video on that, y'all. Celery, stuff like that. Anything you cut them ends off, save them up, make you some vegetable stock. So I got these in my bag. Let's put them in my freezer. My jars are on the heating cycle, so we're fixing to get started. While my brine is heating up and my jars are drying, sanitizing, I'm going to get my other stock pot ready and start getting some water in it, and go ahead and just start getting it warm. Okay, so if you're new to canning, you want your jars, your liquid that's going in your jars, and the water that's going to be in your pressure canner or your water bath canner to all be the same temperature. If you're starting out and you're putting cold water in your jars and cold brine or cold water, cold jars, do not put a cold jar in hot boiling water. It'll crack. Reverse it. Do not put a jar that has hot liquid in it, hot ingredients, into cold water. They will bust. So I'm going to get my stock pot ready. I'm going to get my water not to a rolling boil, but to as hot as possible right when I start seeing that the water's fixing to start boiling, because this is my little trick. If you go ahead and you put your pickles in the jars in the water, and then you start heating up your water, waiting on your water to get hot, see, it's already cooking them. So I'm going to get my water right to that point, okay? Then put my jars in. Then start timing my process, okay? Do y'all see where I'm going with that? Since I'm not using the pickle crisp, I'm trying to keep this as crispy as possible. I don't want them to overcook because they'll get mushy, okay? So I'm going to get my water on to boil over here, or just right before that boiling point. And then when they start boiling or start the hottest, my aluminum pot sometimes doesn't get to that boiling point, okay, like my water bath canner. So it's a little different. I just know when to put them in there, okay? But you want to get them in there right before that little boiling point, and then start timing. But just cut your time in half, y'all. By all means, y'all, if y'all want to follow the what's on the package, go ahead. Just know that the longer that you cook these and process them and they're hot, they're going to turn mushy. My point being, I'm trying to keep them as crunchy as possible since I'm not using pickle crisp. Okay? Now, another thing, you can do this either or. If you're a new canner, I don't want to confuse you, because there's people saying that you need to put your lids and rings in some boiling water on the stove and use this little contraption. It's a magnet to lift your lids out of the boiling hot water. Not your rings, but your lids, your flat. If you're new to canning, okay, water bath or pressure canning, this is the lid. This is a used one. This was some of my mama's jelly we just ate. Yummy, 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 yummy. Okay, she does the jellies, okay? This is a lid, okay? Yeah. I call this a lid, y'all, all right? This is a ring or a band, whatever you want to call it. You do not have to boil these in hot water or put them in hot water. There's 50-50. A lot of people will put these in some hot water and keep them hot on the stove because they say that it prepares the rubber seal in here, okay, to go through the sealing process, okay? Then there's 50% that says, I don't worry about it. I just put them on there. You do you. Your personal preference. Just for the sake of making this a quick process today, I'm not going to put my lids in some boiling water and reach over there and grab them every time I'm going to get ready to do a jar. Everything is heating up in the dishwasher. It's almost done. It's fixing to beep. Okay. And then I'm going to keep my jars in there and keep them hot while I fill up a couple at a time. Okay. My lids are already going to be hot. Hence, I don't have to put them in the hot water. But if I was doing something like a vegetable, pinto beans or green beans or baked beans or something that I'm going to be pressure canning, I will put my lids in some hot water and keep them on the stove and go over there and get them like that. Okay, this so you don't burn your fingers. Okay, so personal preference, whichever one you want to do. Ball is now saying that you don't have to do that. I wish they'd make up their minds. Okay, so I needed to let y'all know that if you're a beginning canner, okay? And y'all, if you are a beginning canner and you really want to get into pressure canning, one of the very first videos I did for beginners was canning carrots. And I explained the whole pressure canning dynamics, what to look for, safe pressure canning. And if you're just now a beginner and you're uncomfortable, watch that video first and I'll show you, what to look for in a pressure canner. The right temperature, the bobblers, the seals, the venting, the steaming, okay? How to regulate your pressure, your gauges and things, whether you got the old-timey one, the bobbler or the gauge one. Y'all, I have several pressure canners. I got gifted two, one from my mother-in-law, one from one grandmother, one from another grandmother. So I have some hand-me-downs. They're the bobblers, okay, the loud bobblers that you grew up with listening in your grandmother's house, okay? And then my husband bought me one that has the regulated gauge on top, okay, and it don't make all that noise. So some of these I can't link below because they're older, y'all, and I don't think they make them anymore, but you can look up at yard sales. But before you start with a pressure canner, I would have it inspected and make sure everything is to the T. Your county extension office should be able to help you with that, okay? And they have pamphlets in there. Beginning canner, safe canning, yada, yada, yada. I just thought I'd throw that in there, okay? Y'all just go check out that video if you're interested in pressure canning, okay? Let me get my water going. All right, y'all, I got my workstation set up. Y'all see my brine here? It's steaming, okay? I got it off the stove. I've got my funnel. I've got my debubbler. I've got my jar lifter. I've got a little bowl of vinegar here with a little napkin. Y'all like my little unicorn napkin? It's the first one I saw, y'all. So I can wipe the rims off. These are hot jars because I just got them out of the dishwasher. These are already warm. I'm using the wide mouth. I've got my lids and rings. Okay, now we're gonna start packing our pickles. Okay, let me move these so y'all can see. Start packing. I'm gonna have to cut that one down a little bit because these way up there at the top. These tall ones I'm probably going to have to cut down and probably just put them in a little pint jar. All right, yeah, I don't want them coming up way too high. So the tall ones, I'm going to have to cut down just a little bit. Y'all just inspect your zucchini just like you would your cucumbers, okay? So let's start packing the jars. You want to fit as many in here as possible, but not so tight, y'all, that you can't get them out and that the brine doesn't reach all the way through the pickle, okay? All right. You can go back and forth. Turn some up this way. Turn some with the butt side down or the butt side up, y'all, okay? Whatever. I'm just going to show you how to do one jar and then you can pack the rest of yours. I can actually put this one butt side up because it's wider up here. Oh, that's a long one. I have to cut him in half too. Let's get some of these shorter ones, y'all, and fill my jar. I'll have to cut some of them other ones and put them in another jar. All right. Just use some of these little short ones down in here to take up this space. Okay. We're going to do this one let's see, head down. All right. They'll still be able to get these in and out of here. All right. I can fit one right there. I don't want them too packed, like I said, that you can't get them out. We'll use some of these little bitty ones that I had, y'all, left over. You know what? I'm going to put that little whole one in there, right there. Okay, let's see. Here's another little half one. All right, so pack your jars as best as you can, okay? You want to leave a 1-inch headspace right here. All right, I'm going to push these down. You want to leave a 1-inch headspace. Now, I'm going to take my funnel right here, and I'm going to carefully pour my brine in here. I'm going to stir it up. Oh, y'all, that vinegar is strong. Just be very careful and don't inhale very deeply. I'm going to leave the dill sprigs in there too in a couple of jars. Oh, I just spilled it on my hand and that was hot. Whew. Get your hot liquid in there. Be very gentle, please. Get your hot liquid in there. And you want your liquid to come up to the same 1-inch headspace, okay? Almost there. Y'all look at that color. Almost there. Y'all know right where the neck starts coming up and it starts going in a curve? That line right there is where I stop. 1-inch headspace. I'm going to leave that dill sprig in there. That looks so good. Okay, now I'm going to do like 2 jars for you, okay? You don't have to sit here and watch me do every jar. I'm going to wipe my rim because I don't want seeds caught in between the rim. See that seed right there? You don't want any caught in between your jar rim and your lid, or it will not seal. Any obstruction on this seal, it won't close, y'all. It won't seal. Okay. Fingertip tight. Don't twerk it, okay? Like that. That's all. I did not put a lot of pressure. Fingertip tight and just a little, a little torque, but not much. You don't want to just screw it on there so tight. That's what causes lids to buckle when you are pressure canning them. Now, I'm going to do one more for y'all. Let's pack our jar. Let's see. That one's good. That's good right size. Like I said, some of these I'll have to go back and cut down. They were a little long, and I thought they were. So we're going to pack. If you lay your jar like this, y'all, it will pack a little better. So I'm going to keep on packing. I'm just going to do one more jar for you so you can see what I'm doing. Let's switch hands. Okay. That one may be, yeah, that one's a little long. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and cut some of these down. That's okay. Okay. See how many you can get in there? You don't want to pack, like I said, don't pack it so tight that the flavor cannot get through all of your pickles and you cannot get them out. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to keep from doing. That one can go right there. All right, I'm going to stop right there because it's getting tight. I'm going to put a little whole one in there just so they can have fun. All right, maybe one. Nope. Okay, let's try. There was a little short one in here. I'm going to try to fill up that little hole right there and it go up to the top. Okay, I know there's another little short one in here somewhere. Look, I'm going to do this. We're going to snap one in half. We're going to fill this jar up. They'll eat them, y'all. Okay, now here we go again. We're going to take our... I need to take the lid off that, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. I didn't debubble that, y'all. I didn't debubble it, and I'll explain in a minute when I do it. I just now caught that. So I will show you on this jar. Y'all, this is probably only going to make about 6 jars, maybe. And I might have to open up that other packet to finish all these pickles. Up to the neck very carefully. This is what I mean by debubbling. And I'll show you on this jar right here if I'm very careful. You see that white spot right there on that one? And it should be yellow. And right there, that's an air bubble. I need to go back and debubble that one, but we're going to do it on this one so I can show you what I'm talking about. You need to get all the air bubbles out, okay? Everything needs to be in the liquid and everything needs to be getting the air bubbles out. Okay, I will go back and take the ring off that one. We're going to dip again in some vinegar. Make sure no seeds or anything. Vinegar is, the seasoning is on my rim. Twist. Just a little torque. That's it. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to debubble this one because I see that air bubble in there. It won't seal, y'all. There we go. I caught that one. There we go. I can actually put just a little more brine in this one. You never know till you start moving everything around. There we go. Till you start moving everything around. I see I got a seed on it right there. If I would have put that lid on there, it would not have sealed because that lid is an obstruction. I mean, that seed would have been an obstruction. That's it. Just a little twist and then just a little torque, but not hard, y'all. Just enough to make sure it's going to stay on there. Okay, I've got 2 already. Now, I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my jars, this brine. I may have to wind up using that other package of brine, y'all, that I got, but it's okay. I will follow the directions on that one and just make up another pot of brine. And then we'll finish all these out, okay? So y'all do y'all's. You finish. I've showed you 2 jars. Go finish yours. Cut down anything that needs to be cut down, okay? Finish your jars and stuff. And then we'll get to the next step, okay? Okay, y'all. That one packet did me 6 quart wide mouth jars. I still got just a little bit of zucchini left over. I'm going to go ahead and mix up the other package, which is going to be the dill, and then get ready to finish up this. If I have some brine left over, I will put it in a jar, put it in the fridge, save it for the next batch. So I'm going to get that ready, okay? But I just had maybe like 1 or 2 ladles left over of this one. I could do like a little pint jar. So for that, it might have got 6 quarts and a pint, okay, y'all? And then if you wind up having like some little pieces left over, y'all, don't be afraid to just throw them in your jar too. These kids don't care. They're going to eat it anyway, whether it's a long spear or it's a little chunk. But you just want to make sure that you fill in those spots in your jar. Or you're going to have less pickles than you are the brine. You know what I'm saying? So use that brine sparingly, okay? I mean, good, but yet don't pack your jars too tight either. Find that happy medium, y'all. All right, I'm going to check my water because... all right, it's beginning to get to the bubbling stage, almost. When it gets right to that stage, I'm going to take my jar lifter and I'm going to start putting them in this water. I'll take y'all through that process. But let me show you what these look like so far. Let me turn you around. There. See? 6 jars, and I got just a little brine left over. See, I had to put like some little pieces in there to finish filling up one side after I got all my spears in there. That's all right. They'll eat them, y'all. Look at there. I probably could have got 1 more in there, but that's okay. I don't want them too tight. Okay? Yes, there you go. So when my water gets ready, I'll show you how I'm going to put these over here in the canner. I'm going to finish up these zucchini, and I got to mix up this other batch of brine. A lot of the zucchini that is left are the ones that are too long for the wide mouth jars. So I'm just going to cut them in half, okay? And then just make sure I stack them in there right, okay? So, be right back. These little sizes like this may be better for kids anyway, y'all, so they're not getting out a big long spear and it dripping all over the place and all over them before they get a chance to eat it anyway. So I think these are going to be perfect right here too, y'all. I'm seeing picnic pickles. I'm seeing salad pickles to go along with your salad. I'm seeing just eat them straight out of the jar. Y'all, that's actually what I did, is made that what I had left over was just enough to make a pint. That last little bit of leftover brine that was in that while ago would have probably filled up this little jar right here. So that would have been 6 and a pint. Okay, y'all, I know my stock pot. So my stock pot, the water is not going to come to a rolling boil, okay? I just know this pot, okay? But it is bubbling, and I'll show you. Okay? That's about as much as my stock pot's gonna do, okay? Because I use this stock pot all the time. So I'm going to start taking my jars. They are not hot, y'all, to the touch. I can touch these. I'm going to start taking my jars and putting them in the water. See, hot water, hot liquid. Now, what I'm looking for is, let me get another jar. I want the water to cover the top of the jar going over the ring. That's about right there. Let me show you. See how the water is going over your lid and your ring? Okay? You need to make sure your jar is submerged only about a half inch, y'all. You just want it to cover it, okay? That's what you're looking for. Now, I'm going to let it get used to this temperature. It's still starting to boil, okay? Then I'm going to start timing it. And I'm only going to do mine, let's see. Let me read what it says on the package. Pints, 10 minutes. Quarts, 15 minutes. In a boiling water bath canner, okay? So I'm going to cut that time in half. 8 minutes to be on the safe side, just to make sure it's good and boiled and got those jars sealed tight, but not over processing them to where I come out with mushy pickles. Okay? Okay, I got this batch in here. I'm afraid to add another jar, so I'm gonna have to do 3 at a time, okay? If I get too many in there at one time, it can cause it to overflow, and I don't want to do that. I've worked too hard. Okay, so I've got the other brine going here. We're going to finish up the other jars. We're going to let these process, and then I'm going to time them, and then I'll let you see when I start to get them out. All right, y'all. It has been 8 minutes, okay? So I'm going to reach in here, grab my jar with my jar lifter, squeeze tightly. Look at that. Squeeze tightly, and I'm going to take this over here, provided I don't drop it, y'all, lose my grip, and I'm going to put it on this towel to cool, because y'all have granite countertops, okay? Or you can put them on a cutting board, okay? So I'm going to get all my jars over here and let them start cooling. All right, there they are out of the canner. As they cool, I should start hearing some pinging, or later on I will come back and I will tap on these after they have cooled, and I will check the seals, check the lids to make sure they have sealed. Look at that, y'all. That looks so wonderful. Okay, so I will check these later on tonight after they have cooled, okay? I've got this many more to go to put inside there, y'all, and that is today's. I have some brine left over that I will be putting in the refrigerator to save for the next batch. Okay, so later on tonight, I will bring y'all back and I will check these jars, or it may be in the morning, okay? I'm so sorry, y'all. That vinegar gets to you after a while. That stuff is strong. Okay, so either tonight or in the morning, I may let these sit all night long just to make sure they're cooled off, and I'm not going to touch them, okay? So either tonight before we go to bed, or I got plenty of hours, or in first thing in the morning, I will get up and I will check these, and we'll see how it goes, okay? Hey, y'all, I'm back. It is actually evening time, and I'm fixing to start cooking supper. That was done earlier this morning. So it's already supper time, and y'all, I couldn't stand it any longer. I just had to check them. I have checked each one of these jars. Each one of them have sealed. I actually heard them start pinging. So I didn't even have to wait till in the morning. And it's like almost 7 o'clock right now. So yeah, every one of them has sealed. Let me get y'all to listen. There should be no hollow sound, okay? You can tell. Plus, when you press down on it, if the lid sinks in when you press down on it, then that means it wasn't sealed. So I didn't even have to give this till in the morning, okay? I think I'm actually going to put the little pint in the refrigerator and go ahead and let them start getting cold. And this is going to be our taste test jar. They're all cool, y'all. I wouldn't have done that. Okay, so, y'all, I hope y'all give pickling zucchini a try, a way to use up the rest of that produce it coming in your garden, okay? Give you a substitute to where maybe if you like that, then you don't have to use another row space in your garden to grow something different, like cucumbers. Just get the most out of one vegetable that you can, zucchini. Save that row for something else to grow another vegetable. So I hope y'all have liked this. I hope you give it a try. I'm going to put that little one in the refrigerator. We'll do this for taste testing. The longer that you let it sit, the better the flavor's going to get. And the stronger the flavors will incorporate into the zucchini. So I hope y'all give this a try, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Y'all be sure to like our videos if you like them. It just helps spread the word, spread my videos. It may help someone else. If you want to become a subscriber, thank you. If you don't, that's fine. Share my videos if you think they're helpful to someone else. So I will see y'all in the next one.